Okay, imagine this for a second. Two kids, born same day, maybe even same hospital, right here in the same city. One gets born into comfort. Straight away, they've got access to, great schools, clean water, good food, top healthcare, everything they need, really. The other child, born into struggle. We're talking underfunded schools, maybe not always enough food, neighborhoods that just don't feel safe.
Yeah.
And the difference, it's not effort, right? It's not smarts or how much they're worth as a person. It boils down to wealth or the profound lack of it. That's their starting line. So today, that's exactly what we're diving into, this stark inequality and how wealth is spread across the globe. Our mission here is to really pull back the curtain. Look at the reality, unpack the complicated reasons behind it, understand the impacts, which are huge, and importantly, see what can actually be done. We've gone through tons of research articles, expert takes, basically to give you a shortcut to getting up to speed on this really critical issue.
It's true. We often talk about wealth inequality like it's just some abstract economic idea, right? But when you actually look at the data, the human side of it just jumps out at you. It's pretty vivid.
And the numbers themselves are, they're staggering. What does the picture actually look like right now globally?
Well, you look at figures from places like Oxfam, and they really drive it home. They've consistently shown that the richest, get this, the richest 1% of people on Earth now own almost half of all the world's wealth.
Half. It's just 1%.
Almost half. Just think about that concentration. It's not just a big slice. It's so disproportionate it actually, reshapes economic power entirely.
Wow. And then you flip that coin.
Yeah.
You see the other side. It makes it even starker, doesn't it?
Exactly, because on the other side, you've still got over 700 million people living in extreme poverty, many of them working incredibly long hours, maybe juggling multiple jobs, just trying to survive day to day.
And these two things, extreme wealth concentration and extreme poverty, they exist side by side. It's not just some coincidence, is it?
Oh, absolutely not. This situation, it didn't just happen. It's not like some natural weather pattern. It's the outcome of specific choices, systemic things, historical factors, all playing out over, decades and decades.
Okay, so if it wasn't an accident, how did we get here? If we start peeling back those layers, what are the big drivers pushing this inequality?
Well, one of the really big ones, and it's often kind of hiding in plain sight, is our tax systems. It's fascinating how the type of income you have really matters. Often you see lower effective tax rates on capital gains, money made from investments, stocks, property compared to the tax rate on wages, the money you earn from working a job. And who mostly gets income from capital gains? Well, people who already have capital. So this bias in the tax code, it's subtle, but it's a powerful engine driving inequality.
That's a really crucial point, and that gets layered on top of what's been happening with actual wages, right?
Exactly. For decades now, for so many workers, wages just haven't kept up. Not with inflation, and certainly not with the gains in productivity. So if your pay isn't rising as fast as the cost of living or as fast as the returns that capital owners are getting, you're basically falling behind. It makes it incredibly hard to build any real wealth or feel secure.
And it goes beyond just the money, doesn't it? It's also about basic opportunities not being spread evenly. Like, if people don't have access to good education or decent healthcare or even reliable internet these days, what chances do they really have? These access gaps seem fundamental.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. And then you layer on top of that these big global trends, things like globalization, automation. Now, these can be great for innovation, right?
Yeah.
And they definitely benefit owners of capital, but they've often left a lot of workers behind.
How so?
Well, think about manufacturing jobs moving overseas to places with cheaper labor. Or, more recently, how AI and robots are starting to do jobs that used to be solid middle-income work. These shifts create new divides, even while the total amount of global wealth might be going up.
Okay, and here's something that maybe feels a bit uncomfortable, I guess. From a societal angle, it feels like we almost have this cultural blind spot. We tend to celebrate billionaires, hold them up as these icons of success. But we don't always look too closely at how that wealth was made or what the wider impact is.
Right.
Meanwhile, the people doing absolutely essential jobs, teachers, farmers, nurses, sanitation workers, the people literally keeping society running day to day, their contributions often feel undervalued and definitely underpaid.
That brings up a really important question, doesn't it? Why should this widening gap matter to everyone, not just the people struggling? Because the truth is, it's not just about fairness, although obviously that's a huge part of it. This kind of disparity, it's actually dangerous. It's destabilizing.
Destabilizing? How? You mean like creating social unrest?
Yeah, precisely. It breeds tension, deep resentment. It can lead straight to political instability, social breakdown. We see echoes of this all over the world in fractured politics and protests. It just erodes trust, that social glue that holds societies together.
And it also kind of locks people in place, right? Makes it harder to move up.
Absolutely. It severely limits what we call economic mobility. When the gap is this huge, it just feels almost impossible for someone, no matter how hard they work or how talented they are, to climb that economic ladder. It's like the rungs are too far apart or the ladder's just pulled up out of reach for too many people.
So it's not just unfair, it actually hurts the economy overall.
Yes, that's a key takeaway. This level of entrenched inequality, it ultimately holds back economic growth for everyone, not just those at the bottom. It stifles innovation because you're not tapping into everyone's potential. It reduces overall demand for goods and services. It just prevents a society from reaching its full potential.
Okay, and this is crucial, right? This isn't just some fixed reality we have to accept.
No, exactly. That's the hopeful part, really. This situation is the result of choices we've made, policies we've enacted. And because they're choices, they can be changed. There are pathways to a more equitable future. We can actually build something different through, actionable policy solutions.
That feels vital to remember. So what kind of concrete steps are we talking about?
Well, we can definitely push for fairer taxes on the wealthy, progressive taxes, making sure those who benefit most contribute back proportionally.
Right.
We can demand real living wages, not just minimum wages, but wages people can actually live on with dignity and some security.
And investing in people too.
Right.
Like education and healthcare.
Absolutely critical. Deep investments in universal quality education and healthcare for everyone. That tackles those fundamental access barriers we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe more fundamentally, we need to think about creating economic systems that actually value and reward contribution, the work people do, the value they create, not just, the accumulation of capital for its own sake.
And it's important to stress, the goal here isn't about punishing success, is it?
Not at all. It's not about tearing anyone down or stifling ambition.
It's more about building a world where one person's success doesn't have to mean someone else struggles or is disadvantaged.
Exactly. It's about creating an economic environment, an ecosystem where prosperity can be shared more widely, which ultimately builds a stronger, more stable society for everybody.
Okay, so for someone listening thinking, this sounds huge, what can I actually do? What are some practical steps?
Yeah, it can feel overwhelming. But you can start by just continuing to learn more. Keep peeling back these layers on wealth inequality, understand it better, then talk about it openly, honestly, with your friends, your family, people at work. Just having the conversation is important. And, on a practical level, look at the leaders and the policies you support. Are they prioritizing fairness? Are they working towards a more equitable, inclusive economy? Support those that are.
And maybe the most important thing,
Yeah.
never just accept this level of inequality as, oh, well, that's just the way things are.
Correct.
Because it isn't. It doesn't have to be. We, all of us together, actually do have the power to challenge things, to push for change, and hopefully help build a future that's a bit more equal, a lot more fair, and ultimately more hopeful for everyone sharing this planet.